might have to take my seats out. Hi, are you Denise?
Denise.
I'm Ken. Nice to
Carol.
see you.
Carol. Hi. Hi.
Denise Upton and her crew met me and my wife Carol at the South Lake Tahoe Airport. Denise is the animal care director at Lake Tahoe Wildlife Care and was here to hand over 2 bear cubs that we were going to fly to Southern California.
They were too small to be hibernated throughout the winter, so we thought we would send them down south where they could feed them all winter and get them nice and fat for release.
More on the bears in a moment, but first we needed to load them up. The bears are in this nearly indestructible steel crate. All the seats had to be removed from the plane before we could fit it in, and it's heavy even without the bears. But after some finagling, we finally did it. Within minutes, we're airborne, turning south and heading to San Diego County. We eventually level off at 11,500 feet, cruising down the spine of the Sierra, the bears apparently resting in their cage. They were found last summer after their mother was killed after being hit by a car in Mariposa County. The animals were already in dire condition, weighing less than 10 pounds each.
It's possible they were so small because their mother was small. There were multiple cubs, and they were kind of on the edge of the fire area, so she might have had a hard time getting food. Because usual for this time of year, those cubs should have been 30, 40 pounds.
After being picked up by Fish and Wildlife and taken in by the Tahoe rescue team, they got a checkup. The ticks and burrs that covered their bodies were removed, and they were given some much-needed nutrition. These rescue bears are named for where they were found.
We kind of called them Mary and Posa. that was because there was 2 of them, we thought we'd split the difference.
Soon we were passing Hetch Hetchy Reservoir near Yosemite, and off in the distance we could see El Capitan and Half Dome. A strong headwind slowed our progress, and the cubs started to make something that Carol and I had never heard before: the angry cries of a little bear ready to get out. While the cubs fidgeted, we pressed on, past the flatlands around Bakersfield, over the high desert and dry lake beds of Edwards Air Force Base, reaching the mountains north of Los Angeles with the ocean in sight far in the distance. Plenty of time to contemplate what the heck we were doing, flying 2 miles above the earth in a small airplane with 2 now restless bear cubs sitting in the back, and time to think about what they could do to the interior, and maybe us, should they somehow manage to break free. Finally, 4 hours after we took off, Ramona Airport came into view, and we turned into the pattern and touched down on a hot and sunny afternoon. We met up with Matt Anderson and his crew from the Fun for Animals Wildlife Center. Again, the seats had to be removed to get the cubs' crate out of the plane.
We did it.
Those are heavy bears.
A short drive from the airport, and we were at the rehab facility where we finally got our first good look at the cubs as they entered their new, albeit temporary, home. As the cubs adjust to their new surroundings, the folks back at Lake Tahoe adjust to life without them.
Little cubs are very endearing, and they missed them. But we knew it was the best thing for them, and that's what we always try to do, is what's best for the animals.
The good news is they're doing great. The bears, who weighed less than 10 pounds last August and barely 20 pounds when we flew them earlier this month, now weigh more than 40 pounds each.
They've really been displaying all the behaviors that we would be looking for, especially exploring, playing with one another, sometimes fighting with one another, which is fairly typical of young cubs as well as they learn how to be an adult bear.